Getting everything situated. Our top podcast always. We're gonna title this always a good time. Always a. Thank you guys. Through live show. Make sure everything's situated. Waited. But we are here. Had a good day at the skate park today. Made some money. That's weird. That's weird. It's not popping up. Oh no. Alright, we'll work on that. Alright. Owe some money on the Just Tainow website. Keep it up afloat. They want some money. Hey Big Chill. Hey Big Chill. Alright, so now I'm situated. Let's get this started. Thank you guys for coming through. I'm gonna play this song called Cosmos Satellite that I created a long time ago. And I put out on the Sync is Real. Side to side, front to back, drop it down, left to right, over there, over here. We just get all this pay. We don't care. I shared this video. Thank y'all for coming on through. Psy Tai podcast number 137.
To say what's in between the line, I balance above the fire. I say what I want and get anything I desire. The lights are swirling to the beat of her true heart. She starts to panic as everything goes dark into her eyes. Spots my satellite, sailing across the stars. She looked up on my satellite, had visions of no more satellites. Took a dose and took flight. Oh, what I felt like, the expressions on her face detailed delight. As our very souls party with the lights. We wouldn't be this high if it didn't feel this right. We wouldn't be this high if it didn't feel this right. We wouldn't be this high if we couldn't go all night. There's no need to hide because everything's laid out. Fake shit all played out. Robot clones with their mouth out. Minds broke, cut their tongues out. Talk about they get high. Man, I ain't coming down. Mansions in the sky. If I can't live, then you'll probably hear that I died. Cause I work too hard. And I learned from the moments that the moments are all that matter. They're all that matter. Back, side to side, left to right, drop, over there, over here, over there, drop, don't care what you say, they got this pay, oh, play, front to back, side to side, left to right, drop, all fucking day, got this pay over here, yeah.
Need a big bass remix. For real, Big Chill. Remix that thing. This is another song, but I ain't gonna play it right now. But check it out. The Sync is Real. It's on iTunes, SoundCloud, and a couple other streaming services. This is another one where I sampled Alan Watts. And this was me playing the guitar. Play guitar too. Not as frequently. It would be cool if I did it more. I wonder what you mean when you use the word I. I made the song about 5 years ago now. 5, 6 years ago.
When you use the word, what you mean. When you use the word,
I guess I am playing a little bit of it.
When you use the word, what you mean. When you use the word,
boosh. And then it switches up a bit after that. But y'all get the picture. Let's actually start the show. Bang, bang. Hey, so yeah, like I was saying before, I was at the skate park. Skate park had a little microdose earlier, so I can get my mind refreshed on a new slate. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. It wasn't that many people there, but the people that was there was getting it in. So the vibes of the energy when you're looking around is like just pushing you to go farther, go harder, and stuff like that. And skateboarding is huge metaphors for me that especially pop out when I'm on the board and actually in the zone and stuff. Like how I approach the tricks, how I approach what I'm going to do. All of that is all psychedelic for me. That's all about loosening my current mind state and relying on what I already have in store, and then seeing how to build on it. Cause you can't just think you're gonna fly off a ramp and do something if you never tried to before, or if you don't believe you can do it. If you don't believe you can do it, if you don't see yourself, you like not in that flow, you ain't gonna do the trick. You're gonna most likely hurt yourself or do it 50 times and then be like, all right, we're gonna have to come back tomorrow with this. Cause I tell you, I'm working on the short now. It was a line I was working on for like 15 minutes. Finally had somebody to record me. I could not land it. And then today I went and did it the first try. First try. And the thing like of going forward or going backwards on tricks and stuff like that, and that fear that pops up when you want to do a trick, but you sliding on the pole, but your back is back to where you're going, but you're going forward, but you're going backwards at the same time. Being able to encounter that reality, because it was a sensation that I only felt through video games and through playing Tony Hawk and stuff like that. And you get the vibes when you on, you like, yo, this is me doing it, I did it. And it entitles all of these fears and skills and going with it. Just going with it. going with the flow. And you'll see, like at the 45 minutes, I start pushing myself harder. Like I start really getting into the groove and like saying, hey, what if I just go fly? I just want to fly all over that. Like it's just the kid like feeling, the bubble bubbling. It's like, I just want to go. I just want to go as fast as I can. Take my time and go and do sturdy, like whatever it calls for, because everything is different. Every trick is different. You said when I was younger, I used to love skating on acid. I think that's how it's always been done to push all of these extreme sports, Big Chill. Like I used to hear about people microdosing before they went on the ski slopes. I saw like 2 videos people mentioning that, and I was just imagining the scenery and feeling like you in the snow and stuff like that, and going down a hill and turning your body the way that you're willing it to, because it's tied into what you're imagining. Doing tricks like people never seen before. See, like never seen before, but it's possible, just a tweak. Like, oh, we've been just sliding down the rail 50-50, but now this one person came and put one truck up while the other one is still down, while the other one's still in the air, and then tilted to the side a little bit and went down. That's a whole new imagination. Hey, Yoel, you said welcome to the Psy Tai podcast. So I used to be in demo martial arts. The tricks are a rush. Oh, demo martial arts. Is that like showing off your certain skill sets you learned, like doing these in certain orders? I know this is whack, but doing certain orders and flipping and kicking in the air. I watch a lot of those videos on YouTube and while I was growing up and stuff. How was that? You said it's a rush. I bet. Just being on the stage and just being in tune with your body. Because it's like things that you went over before in order to perform that action all start kicking into gear. But in a way where you're not thinking about it, but you're aware of it happening. Like, get this high, flick this way. You just feel it. Because then if you don't do it if I don't do it, if I don't perform it the next time I'm going at it, right before I'm like, all right, I saw how my body was like this, but I'm not thinking, all right, I'm gonna do it. And then I'm programming it right there in that moment. All right, this is how I was gonna. I remember to do this, and then at that moment, I see if I remembered or not. The instincts take over. That's what it is. It becomes instinctual. It's kind of like I was saying we were extinct like dinosaurs. But no, that's not what I mean. Running, dive, break over 9 people, flying side kicks, 3 boards, 720 spin kick. Oh, he was getting real into it. Getting real into it. I keep thinking about Dragon Ball Z every time. I keep thinking about you doing martial arts. New song is in. I guess I don't need it right now. But all of these grooves, I start seeing why people made it a lifestyle growing up. I mean, why people make it a lifestyle now and just stuck to it. Just stuck to it. It says it's a mix of letting go and focusing at the same time. It's this opportunity on earth, all of these different type of martial arts and extreme sports and even regular sports and stuff, of attuning ourselves or just playing with ourselves at a point where we're letting it go with the fun and focusing at the same damn time. Wait, if y'all give me 1 second, I gotta go get some. Did I take away that scene? Alright, I'll be right back. I had a be right back screen. I'll survive. It was something. I mean, I had something in my notes too. I wanted to go over. I want to talk. Oh yeah, I was tying on in the car about AI and stuff like that, and the people that's making the computers, because I know when I bring it up, it can come up to people when I bring up AI and the oncoming age of it, and what's going to happen when like the big boy AI or the big girl, the big it come into play, the big them come into play. And the AI starts really making decisions that's going to be apparent to people. But like I said before, it's already calculating things for businesses, and people just go off of the results of what the artificial intelligence of that particular company came up with. I'm doing it now with the with DoorDash. With DoorDash, I'll be playing with it. Like I'll be taking my own directions. I'll be denying certain things. Like, I ain't gonna just make me feel like this, or I actually don't feel like this. I ain't gonna go into that group, so I'm gonna go here. Because the way that it pops up, they try to set up the orders and for you so that where you drop something off at, and then it sees where you are in that location, restaurants and stuff like that, so it can start picking it up and it calculate if you're near like another restaurant and somebody else puts in an order, so to see if you have enough time, and is to calculate the distance between it, and it get more information when I plug in how was it, like was it a good journey, and then like was it a good journey, and then like the details into why it was a good journey or not and stuff, and that's all fed into the algorithm. That's all fed into the algorithm to help people make some money, and for massive data collections for the people that's selling the data to get money. Cause I gotta take like pictures of the house and stuff when I drop it off. Sometimes I just take pictures of the sky. I like, I ain't gonna steal this. You said, do they have set areas that pay better than others? They have hotspots. They have hotspots where they show where it's a hot area. So if you stay in that area, you're most likely to pick up something than being in another part of the town and stuff. Amazon delivery and stuff like that. I don't know. I do Instacart on days off. Cristobal said, "Hey, Cristobal, been a while. My homie just hit me up in North Carolina. He was saying he does Instacart. I didn't hear of that, but it's not available in Chico right now. I tried yesterday." He said Amazon. I'm not really trying to sign up for a straight up 9 to 5 right now, where I have to be somewhere. Like with DoorDash, I can cancel. Dash, I can cancel anytime I want. And like, hey, I'm about to go home, or let me go do this. Go to the store. I just be chilling. I just be chilling, listening to music, just playing out concerts, playing podcasts and stuff like that. So I see how it was created for people like me and people with that kind of mind state, still trying to be chill with the hustle, treating it as a hustle, like a hustle type of thing. Because I've seen other people in the door that's like, oh, this thing was created for us right now. Like I just be feeling it. I just be feeling it. Good people, good people. But you were saying AI is running the stock markets and everything. Yeah, the stockbrokers and everything. All they learning is how to read the numbers on the stock market and how to feel for flows of charts and stuff. And if something is going to break out a little more than something else, I'm like if you hold this stock at this date, it's projected to shoot up like that. All of that is instincts and mixed with the AI and people that really got that groove with the computers and stuff and they minds they know how the numbers is running in their own imaginations. It's I seen some magic happen. I seen some magic happen, not with myself, but with other people. Other people. That's how they be playing it in the movies too. If you really pay attention. If you really pay attention. You said Big Chill. You said check out microgreens. Nice little side hustle. Shout outs to what's his name? Black Wolf. Black Wolf brought that up a long time ago. Long time ago, growing microgreens, then going to the farmers markets and stuff like that and selling them. I'm with that. I'm with that. Cristobal, you said stock market is like predicting the weather. Big money crops every 10 days. It is like predicting the weather. Sometimes people got they what they use Doppler radars. Some people got some Doppler radars. They be knowing. They be knowing. That's why sometimes they be having some secret inside deals too. That's why I was learning about the free market in China yesterday. Listening to Joe Rogan podcast and how business is done in China, whereas is right in line with the government. So the government can be like messing with the company, but the company can have the backing of the government just in case something happens. And they Joe Rogan was going over like, what about American companies and stuff like that? Like, can we do something that's big like that? But we can't really. The way our markets is, we can't. Is made so that everybody has a fair chance. So you can't talk about the behind the door things that's going on to a company if they can pull out of it and make more money by pulling out of it from the information you gave to them. Even though it still happens all the time. All the time. It's a million ways to make money, Cristobal. That's why I'm not ever worried. Cause I'm never worried. Cause I'm just like, just gotta put forth the effort. Put forth the effort, and it's gonna come. This is just like the Squid Game, but we don't all gotta play the same game. You can play something else. The NFTs are crazy now too. Yeah, Big Chill, check out the NFTs I've been putting out. I'm gonna show later one. I finished the one that I made with True. A true life story is a nice little loopy loop. But going back to China, going back to China. Oh, you said it to anything company from China is the government. The free market and everything. It was a company, an AI company that they wanted to make more money. China offered them something. They want to do business so they can pay less taxes and everything like that. So China owned like a majority of the company. And then China, what they did was actually take over the company by stealing the information. The government stole the information from the company, and then they changed the name of the company since they was a majority stockholder, and then took the other people out of it, the original people out of it. They got paid their money, but now that AI belongs to China. The China, how China does business is way different than how Americans do business. But a lot of people want money. A lot of people want money, and China has a lot of money. Has a lot of money, so it's offering like billions to these startup companies, and that's how they playing this long-term 20-30 year game, playing on how they're going to appear to the rest of the world. How they're going to appear to the rest of the world in a couple decades. He said the USA used the NSA to do a similar thing. See, no lie, UL, no lie. They didn't want to bring that up in the Rogan podcast because the person that Rogan was talking to is in the CIA. He just likes Rogan. They be talking a lot. But yeah, on the flip side, and he didn't like Edward Snowden, and Joe Rogan brought that up. Like, wait a second, wait a second. But yeah, the NSA, they doing it too. He said, you invent something, no copyright in China. Oh, the government owned all of that copyright. You said, you invent something too advanced, they pay you for it, or just take it. That probably was the behind the scenes thing. There's like, man, it just came out like, yeah, we just took the money. But it was probably way more. They probably had little secret ears on the project since the beginning. Like, yeah, these people over here working on something. Just like in the movies, they knock on your door while you're working in your basement. Like, wait, how you know I was working on this time machine? But that's all part of the long-term game. They was also talking about it's probably it was this guy from Russia. It was in the 80s, and he was talking about a long-term game plan on how the Soviet Union actually acts. It was because they were saying it's not totally like in the James Bond movies, like how it's like they're trying to get the information and stuff like that and out there on the field. But it's more so of them doing things long term. Russian folks. Of course. Oh, it's actually right here. It was just interesting to talk about long term. I'm not going to play the whole thing. It's 13 minutes long.
That I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand.
I just thought that this was interesting.
The Soviets use the phrase ideological subversion. What do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the process which is legitimate, overt, and open. You can see it with your own eyes. All you have to do, all American mass media has to do, is to unplug their bananas from their ears, open up their eyes, and they can see.
He said, don't use crypto, they track it in the
There's
future.
nothing to do with espionage. I know that espionage...
They, LOL, never buy all your supplies from the same PC. Build in time device. Don't use crypto. Yeah.
Intelligence gathering looks more
Gotta
romantic.
let them know.
It sells more deodorants through the advertising, probably. That's why your Hollywood producers are so crazy about James Bond type of thrillers. But in reality, the main emphasis of the KGB is not in the area of intelligence at all. According to my opinion and opinion of many defectors of my caliber, only about 15% of time, money, and manpower is spent on espionage as such. The other 85% is a slow process, which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The result you can see. Most of the people who graduated in the 60s, dropouts or half-baked intellectuals, are now occupying the positions of power in the government, civil service, business, mass media,
just the
educational
beliefs,
system. You are stuck with them. You cannot get rid of them. They are contaminated. They are programmed to think and react to certain stimuli in a certain pattern. You cannot change their mind. Even if you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black, you still cannot change the basic perception and the logic of behavior. In other words, these people, the process of demoralization is complete and irreversible. To get rid of society of these people, you need another 20 or
Yeah, he's basically saying how society is built. But like a lot of our things, we're like, oh, is this our country doing this to ourselves? Sometimes there's other countries doing it to another country.
15 years to educate a new generation of patriotically minded and common sense people who would be acting in favor and in the interests of the United States society.
And yet these people who've been programmed and, as you say, in place and
Yes.
who are favorable to an opening with the Soviet concept, these are the very people who would be marked for extermination in this country?
Most of them, yes. Simply because the psychological shock when they will see in future what the beautiful society of equality and social justice means in practice, obviously they will revolt. They will be very unhappy, frustrated people. And the Marxist-Leninist regime does not tolerate these people. Obviously they will join the links of dissenters, dissidents.
Yes.
Unlike in present United States, there will be no place for dissent in future Marxist-Leninist America. Here you can get popular like Daniel L.
Yeah, you say, yup, now with social media, it's individuals doing it to other. Yup, back then, well, it used to take journalists and getting into the paparazzi and stuff like that. And oh, it's another word I'm looking for, where they put things in the news and stuff to slowly change things around. But now with social media, we get news like that, just like that. Just pick up the phone when it's right there. The bots are crazy. Russian bots, Chinese bots, American bots, Indian bots. India, they hip with the technology.
Ellsberg and filthy rich like Jane Fonda for being dissident, for criticizing your Pentagon. In future, these people will be simply squashed like cockroaches. Nobody is going to pay them nothing for their beautiful, noble ideas of equality. This they don't understand, and it will be greatest shock for them, of course. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already. For the last 25 years. Actually, it's overfulfilled because demoralization now reaches such areas where previously not even Comrade Andropov and all his experts would even dream of such a tremendous success. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards. As I mentioned before, exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military boot crashes then he will understand, but not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of demoralization.
And as he said, the tragic thing too, that is a kind of tragedy, but the beauty that I found in it is that reality is quite objective. And people can live how they really choose to, that's what the mushroom show, my observations. And so that's how this is all even allowed to happen in life, period. If it's like a fearful thing, like this stuff life has allowed for these kind of things to happen. Yeah.
So basically America is stuck with demoralization, and unless, even if you start right now, here, this minute, you start educating new generation of Americans, it will still take you 15 to 20 years to turn the tide of ideological perception of reality back to normalcy and patriotism. The next stage is destabilization. This time, subverter does not care about your ideas and the patterns of your consumption. Whether you eat junk food and get fat and flabby, it doesn't matter anymore. This time, and it takes only from 2 to 5 years to destabilize a nation, what matters is essentials: economy, foreign relations, defense systems. And you can see it quite clearly that in some areas, in such sensitive areas as defense and economy, the influence of Marxist-Leninist ideas in the United States is absolutely fantastic. I could never believe it 14 years ago when I landed in this part of the world that the process will go that fast. The next stage, of course, is crisis. It may take only up to 6 weeks to bring a country to the verge of crisis.
Okay, let's hear this last part.
crisis. You can see it in Central America now. And after crisis, with a violent change of power, structure, and economy, you have so-called the period of normalization. It may last indefinitely. Normalization is a cynical expression borrowed from Soviet propaganda. When the Soviet tanks moved into Czechoslovakia in '68, Comrade Brezhnev said, now the situation in brotherly Czechoslovakia is normalized. This is what will happen in the United States if you allow all these schmucks to bring the country to crisis, to promise people all kind of goodies and the paradise on earth, to destabilize your economy, to eliminate the principle of free market competition, and to put a big brother government in Washington, D.C., with benevolent dictators like Walter Mondale, who will promise lots of things, never mind whether the promises are fulfillable or not. He will go to Moscow to kiss the bottoms of new generation of Soviet assassins, never mind. He will create false illusions that the situation is under control. Situation is not under control. Situation is disgustingly out of control. Most of the American politicians, media, and educational system trains another generation of people who think they are living at a peacetime. False. The United States is in a state of war, undeclared total war against the basic principles and the foundations of this system. And the initiator of this war is not Comrade Andropov, of course. It's the system. However ridiculous it may sound, the world communist system or the world communist conspiracy, whether I scare some people or not, I don't give a hoot. If you're not scared
I was just
by
talking
now,
about that.
nothing can scare you.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be paranoid about it. What
Yeah.
actually happens now, that unlike myself, you have literally several years to live on unless the United States wake up. The time bomb is ticking. With every second, the disaster is coming closer and closer. Unlike myself, you will have nowhere to defect to, unless you want to live in Antarctica with penguins. This is...
That's enough of that. But that's the video. Former KPB agent warned Yuri warns America about socialism. And that was back in the 80s. That was back in the 80s. Now look where we are now. Ain't tell no lie, no lie. Yeah. Yeah, he kept it funky. Kept it funky. And they ain't even have the internet back then. They like the social media and everything. So yeah, that's just how the world is turning. That's why I like to look into these things, so when it pops up, I'm not so overtaken with fear, but just like, all right, this is the battlefield right now, or this is the play field right now. I don't feel lost in the play field. Like, yo, it's not no type of sense. It's some sense in there. Some sense in there. Cristobal, he brought up a cashless society. A cashless society. Yeah, that can happen. That can happen. It's just going to be something that's not cash for people to switch goods and stuff like that. Probably some other thing, digital coins. Go back on coins. Cash is just paper. Cash is just paper. A lot of things already been moving towards digital and stuff like that. I remember when cards and everything first started coming out. I don't remember exactly when credit card stuff coming out, but I just remember the commercials and everything, and people say, I'd rather have cash on me. And that's still a thing. But now you see more and more people using getting bank accounts and keeping all how many people carry coins in their pocket and stuff like that. I know I do, but I know a lot of the people that I run into, they don't carry like spare change or spare cash and stuff. It's already all on their debit card. Gotta go to the ATM, got cash back or something like that. A lot of our stuff is already digital. It's already digital. And with crypto and stuff, the banks and everything are already with their top investors, people they got the most money in a bank, that's holding money in a bank. They talking to them about crypto and ways they put the money into different I don't know the exact word right now, but different things so that their money can continue to be valuable in the future. Because the cash is going to be a lot less valuable. Like you can have $500,000 right now, and then in like 10, 15 years, it ain't going to be worth $500,000. Appreciate in value. It's going to depreciate. So that's why I like art. A lot of people get into art forms. Art always been popping like that. Art always appreciates in value. Because art is something, ooh, something, ooh. Oh, on a lighter note, real quick, little segue. I got a video. It's only like 6 seconds long. That's a video I was working with putting some crystal filters in front of the camera in Blender in order to effects. Fun. And I've created this video through having the VR headset. I filmed it and everything. So it's like in front of me, you can see me creating the mushroom and all of that. It's just in space. And then I put it into Blender and jazzed it all up, tied it all together. Three parts when it opens up. Yeah. I'm gonna add the sounds and everything. I'm gonna add the sounds and everything. In a bit, as y'all see, I got it loaded up in Premiere Pro right now. I'm always working on animation. I learned yesterday how to actually create 360 videos so that y'all can put on your helmets on like regular YouTube videos. Y'all know like the roller coaster videos and stuff like that. The roller coaster videos where you put it on YouTube, you go around and stuff. I can create videos as such, but not probably not gonna do no roller coaster anything like that. Probably like a meditation, look around, see some visuals. And it was pretty simple too. It was all about just how I output it. Oh, okay, I understand. Hey P Temple fourth. Hey P Temple. Welcome to the Psy Tai podcast. Welcome. Going over animations, China, bots, AI, fear, love, hate, all everything in between. Everything. Oh, that was the other thought that was on my mind. That was in the playing field was how we look at the news. How we look at the news. People take the like he was saying too. People take the news to be like the most serious thing, as if that CNN is giving you all the information you need. Fox is giving you all the information you need. ABC, CBS, like the big network. And I've seen it a lot of times on cartoons. They make them like they're animals, or I've watched SNL and stuff like that. How they will play the characters and play them funny, or how we see it in our own imaginations and stuff, or how we see our perception of it. We're looking at the people and how they're like kind of like jokesters, like they got to talk with a certain tone of voice if you're a weatherman or you're an anchor man and stuff like that. Shouts to the show Anchorman with Will Ferrell. That was a funny movie. That was a funny movie. Him, like, imagine him being the actor, getting into that role and position and stuff like that. And it was a comedian and stuff like it's tying into where I'm going to in my head. But just how they're delivering the information, but it seems scripted, or it seems as though is more to their personality that they're not putting on. And now we've been realizing that as human beings in this conscious state. And I've realized that really when I was on mushrooms, I was on like we split like a had to be at least like a third of an ounce or something like that. We just munching on them for like a good hour or so. But the news came on because the people that lived in the house, like owned the house, they came in and turned on the TV, and they watched CNN and stuff like that. So it was on, but all I was able to do was laugh, and it was because I was listening to all the inflections in their voice. It was like an announcer type of voice, and I know how it is to announce, like when you on the stage and everything, and, and just the way they was moving, just like they were cartoon animals, and not in like a negative way, but like in a funny way. And now to tie it in, as we podcast, we're able to were looked at as essential businesses during when coronavirus first started. Look how that played out. A lot of businesses were shut down, but podcasts were allowed to still do what they did. They had just had to do their own testing, or it was just up to like what they was willing to put themselves up to with fears going on at the time of how the corona fought and passed on. So now we're hearing a lot of podcasts actually bring on the news. And I consider myself, like, once I really started getting into this, a comedian. A comedian. No matter how serious I'll be talking, it's all jokes, it's laugh. The mushroom showed me, I mean, no matter how many questions and searches and all that. I saw and heard the clown horn up there in hyperspace, and it reminded me of everything as the joke form of life. There's many different forms, but I was reminded of the joke as the cosmic giggle Terrence McKenna used to say. Like, it's just giggling, like, once you reach it. Yeah, yeah. But the podcasts are now becoming forms of news stations delivered through different comedians. I listen to the Flangarant 2 podcast. I listen to a lot of podcasts, True Life podcast, King Guy's podcast, Joe Rogan, Duncan Trussell, the Brilliant Idiots has popped up recently. I watch a lot of and what's the last my other one I like to shout out. They can get some more. Jesus and Mero, the Bodega Boys. But they're deliver even the one that get millions of views all the time. John Oliver. John Oliver delivers a lot of news, but he's a comedian. The dad from the Daily Show. So now, like, we literally have comedians delivering the news in a way we can laugh about it, see a different perspective, not just get caught up in one thing and like one perspective. Invite other people on to share their views. Let experts or a so-called expert science, somebody who's really been in the field, talk about it and talk about it in a way they wish to talk about it, not just like answering from a set of list questions. It's funny. It's funny how it's coming out like that. Because life is what we see. I'm saying life is what we see. Life is what we see and how we see it. And it's cool. Very cool. It's relaxing, actually. It's relaxing. It's relaxing. Because usually, when somebody tries to deliver the news, they deliver it the most serious tone of voice, as if it's life or death. And if it is life or death, death is the scariest thing. So it calls for like a fear type magic to work. Where you changing your life based off of the fear, which is good for survival. It's good to learn the survival skills and everything. Always, I love that. I love it. I love it. But it's like it's another side of the perspective that's readily available for us, for me, to be able to live in and see what's going on, so I can make moves just like the people, or not just like the people, or see what the moves are of the people that's creating the fear, and then make a decision from there. From there. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Because death, I was just looking down for another topic, and then I looked down. I wrote the topics here. Like, death is not real. It's supposed to be more to that. Oh, I remember now. Another topic I was on my mind was I was going over the developers of AI in the future, and this is where I broke off with before, and their motivations and actions and stuff like that. Should it be trusted? Do people trust it and stuff like that? And to the point where, like, oh, it's writing down everything I say. I mean, like, to the point where people are going to be like uploading their consciousness into, and I'm just seeing how they encounter the word death and stuff like that. and how they're probably using it as like a lesson tool in consciousness of like the fear. And like, cause it's like different. There's many different forms of death. There's many different forms. There's many different ways to die. Many different ways to die. It's not just I'm dead. I died. That's just one form of death. That's just one form of death of what we would even like know as death and stuff like that. But I was going into the computers because like the movie Upload, the show, it was a show, Upload, when they were about to pass on, they had the opportunity. I talked about this in a long podcast ago. They had the opportunity to talk to upload their consciousness to a virtual reality and stuff like that, where everything was set up for them. They would live good and everything. But then they showed in the show was all dependent on how much money they had going into it. But they loved ones was still able to see them on their phone or put on a virtual reality headset. And then like they had a whole suit that connected to they nerves and everything. So they was able to go inside that reality and still talk to and still like play around with they loved one or the ones that they want to be with. And it was going into it because the old guy was saying, "No, I'm not going in there. I'd rather die the natural way, and be able to let my spirit like go into heaven and do whatever it want to do than like stay here and things like that and be locked up." And he had a grand point. He had a grand point. So like True be bringing up it's the big motivation of the thing that's here to keep on existing with the same pattern of memory, pattern of thoughts and stuff like that. Of oh, this is who I believe I am. This is who I believe I am. But from my perspective, I see it as how long can we make this trip last? What can we do while we in this trip of reality? Like, what is possible? Because in another reality, it's probably not possible to do any of these things. To have the technology to create a simulation inside of a simulation and stuff like that. Yet still have technology. And check out Naruto universe. They like live. It looked like the like 1400s. They got some kind of technology they use, but they don't have the technology to do what we're doing. So that's what we're able to do while we're here on the chat boxes. Hey, Lupa Soup. You said with tech now, people could fully record their days and experience here, but it would just be a copy. Yeah, you well. I get what you're saying. Like I was saying, for the this to exist as long as it wants, this is but a reflection or a multi-dimensional self. So like, I put that video up with my face changing and stuff, talking about that. Check out the short. Check out the short, guys. But for the for a certain perspective, a certain reflection to keep existing, because the videos you make and record and everything is not the totality of what you were feeling in that moment. Is but as they always say, a snapshot. Remember that in the commercials? It'll take a snapshot of reality, of a frame capture a frame of reality. But it's just like a little slither of it, a little slither. It's up to the person to really be able to bring it to life again, to the experiencer. That's why people can experience different things, even looking at the same video from the same day. Even if they was in the video. I remember this like this. So then like the world that's being built off of that from the virtual realities and stuff, I could see it's going to be just like they were saying with the guy was saying with the KGB and stuff like that, with the long-term plans and building society. It's going to be built off of the ideas of what's going on in that moment, and based off of like where things in the past that wants to come in fruition when that finally comes out. They're like, man, I'm working on this now. When the virtual reality pop out, I'm gonna have this going on. So I gotta work with what I have now. I'm kind of doing that. I'm kind of doing that right now. That virtual reality and everything's still not where it's still evolving like everything else. And I know other companies, everything really big. Yeah, but it's but a reflection. But a reflection. And how comfortable you are with they different reflections is going to be ones that's going to be choose to be comfortable with the situation of going into the virtual reality or not comfortable. You still got a choice up there. You could choose not to be comfortable. Like I'm just gonna do this, or I'm gonna be comfortable doing this over here. And that's free will. That's free will for you. That's free will. But no, the train is never going to stop. The train is never going to stop for it to be offered. The coding is always going to be made. People going to be switching around, learning Python. The experts going Python. They going to be. They really already into it, trying to um make things happen. He said trying to be on the cutting edge without being cut. Yeah, you well. That's a good way to put it. Without getting cut. Without getting cut. But just like China and stuff, you can sell so-called sell your soul and just get into it. But it can be things that take advantage. That take advantage. And then because reflections around us are always telling the truth. I was in King Oz and he was talking about zombies and everything and Z Nation and people being in their phones and like that's all they have. And I get it. I get it. And like cause that's what everybody doing, but it's like another picture where you can look up at the sky and have thoughts flowing, visions flowing through your mind as fast as you scrolling on TikTok. Like, oh, people love TikTok, and I love TikTok too and stuff because every time you scroll down, it's something new. It's something refreshing. Like, I mean, every time you refresh it, it's something different. It's never the same. Like, even if you refresh the page by accident, you can lose a video, and you if you didn't like or favorite it, you'll never see that video again unless somebody duet it or something. Like, do make a copy of it, with them doing something funny on it. But that's how our thoughts are. That's how our visions are. That's how my vision is and stuff. Just by looking up at the sky when I allow myself, playing songs, start playing and everything. So that's how I avoid getting cut. That's how I avoid getting cut by still allowing my mind to say, "Hey, this is one part of what's going on. This technology is one part. Tool. It's a tool. An awesome tool. It's an awesome tool that allows me to make money, connect with people like we doing now, and just become because that word immersion. Let me see where that word like really the big thing when it technology immersion. Oh, dip into. Or yeah, I could have broke that apart myself. Emerge. Yeah, you going into it. You're going, you dipping into it. And what it's about. What it's about. What we trying to see what it's about is this technical world. I was talking about Digimon and stuff. Like, yeah, y'all ever watch Digimon? Where the kids was able to go inside the virtual world, like they bodies just straight up disappeared. And then later the virtual world started interacting with the regular world in later season. Is able to bring the Digimon back. Talk about full immersion of life and the possibilities. How far in the future is Digimon? Is or how far in the future? What realities exist in all these cartoons where they have these technologies existing? Even in movies where they have these technologies playing out right in front of us. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty dope. Because with the VR community, it's really about pushing the envelope. The VR is an open source thing. But like I mentioned before a couple times, we are creating gloves so that it can so that you can feel yourself grabbing objects, virtual reality people Got this vape pen set up with like different flavors and scents, so that when you virtual reality, it triggers it. They create a code, triggers it, merges with your nose. They came out with the more high definition screen, better tracking of arms, eye senses, so that your avatar can be tracked by where you move your eyes, and the eyes would then move there and everything. So the immersion level, and with the track, they came out with the track as well, where you can walk, and you walk in on a track, so you don't got to like nunchucks, and you just start walking, and it would translate the motion to character. And then with exercises, when exercise really they already got a lot of fitness apps, but a lot more people are going to be using exercise. Imagine try like hooking it up to your treadmill and going on a jog and stuff, like looking around like, yeah, I'm in the woods, or I'm running along Mount Everest or something like that. Somewhere previously inaccessible. Even though people gonna be probably using it too to act like they're just jogging down the street. It's for anything, the immersion level. And that need is what I'm really tying on right now. That thing that's popping up for people to even want to develop this, and the people to say, hey, this is what I want. This is what I want. Like it's some people that's say like Esco, he say he's not trying out virtual reality until it gets better. So so yeah, so it's gonna be even more people as it gets better, as I see that's gonna jump into it even more. Well, he said many anime were going the way of merging real and virtual, but both ways. I was thinking about the Animatrix, the one where they made it the animation, and it was the Matrix. They was really going into that. And it's another one I can't really remember, where a robot was made conscious and woke up itself, like somebody pushed a button to wake it up, and everybody was confused about what it was or what it was going to do. Because when you really look at the technology, have these experiences of other realms, and how the technology works over there. So some people have nothing but the respect to start working on it, or to just the idea pop up in their head based off of how they was looking at something, or something that they want to do, a concept that they want to bring to life, and based off of what they already had around them, it made happen, because life is always made for us. It's like we got everything we need, right? So somebody coming with those ideas, hey, pop things gonna pop up for them to have everything they need. But yeah, yeah. And what the cool thing with anime is that it's a lot of anime from Japan. Like these people was very on some different kind of vibes. A lot of different kind of vibes when they brought this over. And a lot of people think that black people wasn't hip to anime back in the day. But I was watching a video, and it reminded me that before Adult Swim, which is what a lot of people got hip to anime in America with, it was on WB. It was on the WB, and they were showing anime on there. WB was Warner Brothers. They tried to market that to black people. So what we term as black people. The Wayne's brothers used to come on there. It was cool. It was cool. That's where Static Shock, Dragon Ball Z, let me bring it up right here. Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, the Animaniacs, the Batman, the one from 1996. I consider that too one of the best um written show cartoon shows. Jackie Chan, Batman Beyond. I totally forgot that Dragon Ball tapping into the street, playing them in the world via the you can obtain. You can obtain. And that's what I see as the journey. If you choose to do it. Like when the missions pop up in games and stuff, you can do the missions, or you can walk around and do stuff like that. Oh yeah, yeah. Before I go into that, Yeah, take it even farther back, you will. 'Cause I wasn't in the 80s. The 80s, they had anime. They had Gundam. Gundam was an anime, and a lot of other ones that I don't know the name of until they pop up. And I don't think any of these creators of these animes and all of these cartoons and movies, the writers and the directors, they all doing things now in society that's still affecting us in ways that we probably not even like paying attention to. Like the person that made Lawnmower Man with the um with the VR and everything, he has a VR company now called Virtualocity. Virtualocity. So he's still prominent in our world, in the movies and in like this life. Bar, Bubblegum. I didn't see those Bubble prices. I saw Akira. Saw Akira before. Castle in the Sky is a classic. Kiki's Delivery Service. Yeah, I watched Dragon Ball. Saw all the Dragon Ball. Oh wait, this not up here. Sorry about that. Saw Little Nemo. All of these are adventures. Lupin the Third. I used to come to swim. Transformers. Urgent, they're talking about technology and stuff. Like, how did they technology develop for them to get like that? People always asked. The 80s was an awesome time because everything was developing. Everything was developing, art styles to everything we have now. But just imagine too that world of the anime being the actual place. Like people put the sound effects. Like when you make certain things, we put things in certain respects. I think certain genres and everything. I think genres are reality. All of these things are actual realities when you tap into something that's like that reality. Similar to that genre. Traveling type stuff. He said sci-fi anime had many tech ideas that would have changed the world. It did have a lot of ideas that changed the world, but the world wasn't ready. Or that's why we still talk about them now. They were just planting their seeds. They still just planting some seed, playing the long term game, playing the long term game, affecting a generation. Like that KGB guy was saying, take about 15, 20 years. And the generation start picking up on it. Or the next one. All in due time. All of these cool things. Because I was watching I was watching the Corridor guy from Corridor VFX artist. He was got to play around with some jet packets where it was tied to his arm and he had to like aim it and stuff like that. It was like coming out of there and he had to aim it on the ground in order to take lift. And it was cool. Cool thing about it as well was that the whole co-founder of Oculus VR was there too. So the Oculus VR headset. So he was there. But I felt like he was testing the Avas, but like how they was in the anime Neon Evangelion, where they had to sync. The kids had to sync. They had to find kids that was able to sync their rhythms with technology, and they was the only ones able to do so. And they was so proud because he was the like select few that's able to get off the ground in a good way on the first try, and they gave him badges and all this stuff because the second time he was able to do it. And so I was like, yo, this is history right now because who are these people even giving these badges and talking about this stuff right now? And then the way that they personality types was, it was real like not just lighthearted, but It was just like seemed to be on another plane. It's on another. They working on some high vibes, some techie vibes, some techie vibes. That yeah, that's a good way to get now. Do you see the ideas of other things like battle angel, battle angel? Oh, I don't remember the story plot to it. I don't remember the story plot to it. I did see that movie. That the military has a or test. Yeah, with jetpacks. Imagine a cop chasing you, chasing a person doing a crime on a jetpack, or chasing you. Oh, they get more and more involved, get better and better, or just you just floating across the ocean, go across a lake, or just going down to the street to get a blunt. I'm just jetpack real. And that reminded me of that show, you well, Imagination Land that Disney made. Imagination was a good movie where they was tying on these so-called intelligent people of society or people that was working with these certain vibes of society, and they branched off literally into another reality, a whole another reality where they had all this technology, flying cars, and you had to be like have this inventor type mind state in order to be there. That's what it was. So the kid had got invited there, and it was cool. He was taken there, and the people here, if you got a coin, then when you touch the coin, then everything around you changed so that you was in that reality. But it was just the technology though. He's already being chased by a dog like drunk jetpack. Ah man, a dog. I'm gonna have some scramblers on me. It's gonna be relevant in the future. Some scramblers, son, you can press so you can scramble the signals of things that's going on around you. That's gonna be real, the high value things in the future. And Tomorrowland, they have this coin. When they hold the coin, they go to that reality of where all the technology and stuff is. And yeah, it was just cool with the technology and stuff. Hey, Velvet, back in. I'm still here. It's cool with the technology and them being able to do cool things and the how reality, how the multi-dimensional fabric of reality was just another average thing once the technology reached that level. It wasn't like, oh man, this is like some strange devil magic and stuff like that. It's like, no, this is how it is. This is how it is. They even had the technology that they thought was able to predict the future and stuff. But then in the end, they saw that because it was calculating results when they look at it and everything. And then they saw in the end that the their that the future that was happening in reality was based off of their perception while they were looking at that technology and so-called getting a result. It was like their mind state involvement in it was involved in the reality. I was like, that's next level. That's next level. Oh, that's why I did some work. I was wondering why my Be Right Back screen. I had to move something files on space. Probably moved out of my documents back up. Oh, oh yeah. No, I was just looking at an old message. But yeah, yeah. If y'all got any topics or something like that, let them roll. I'm looking at my yeah. I think I had everything. I should look into making wheat free drum. Hey, yeah. That's a thing. That's a thing. You well. We delivery drones. Well, not a thing. It's a thing in my mind as I'm visualizing it. I'll make those connections. Make those connections happen. It was somebody. It was a video of somebody doing that illegally on on TikTok. I was cracking up. He was. They was filming it coming through, and then they said he told me just put the money on the drone and it's gonna take off by itself. Oh, good times. He said, "You ever see the anime X Hunter X Hunter?" I started watching it at the beginning of the year. I finally I didn't. I'm on the third season. It's like 50 something episodes or something where it just exploded, and it's a lot of episodes in the third season or second season. I'm something like that. I got real far with it because I thought it was over, and then I saw there was a bunch more episodes. But that anime is real cool with learning about your energy and how people have different ways of manipulating their energy and they different tactics. I think I forget what they call it. I don't know if it's called Ren, controlling your Ren. Hunter X Hunter. Wallpaper. Yeah, but I like that show and how they actually break down the chakras. Oh, Nin. Okay, okay. Yeah, Nin. I typed in Ren. They show people. But that anime was cool. It was plotting out, like I said, the ways of the chakra system. People use their energy. They called it Nin, the mind force, as it's translated. To the image when they were showing that chart and how people can like gravitate towards, yeah, there it is, gravitate towards a particular, is there emitter, enhancer, transmitter, conjurer, and that all has to do with the certain energy and where it vibes at. Enhancement, transmutation. Up, God, the net. Where you can encase objects, allow them to move, encase the nin and ren. I keep calling it ren. The nin around yourself, so that you can use it to interact with reality, cut things, or it's a fighting show. But this is all, and this reality is similar to what people, one section of people call Reiki exercises, and Reiki show feeling the energy through your hands and stuff like that. Or what I just experienced through mushrooms and practicing even before I did mushrooms, because I believe that this was a real thing in this aspect of being able to create energy around your hand and visualizing it and letting it flow. Chi. Chi is what is also called in like almost every other anime and in a lot of Eastern traditions. Manipulating your chi. Manipulating your chi. And that's real valuable. Conserving your chi. How much chi you have throughout the day until you start unlocking your QB energy like Naruto. And you feel like you got unlimited chakras. A QB was something that was locked inside of him that he thought that was it was the trickster fox, but it's a QB is something, a Cherokee holder, which in Japanese is somebody that holds a so-called demon or something like that, or a powerful entity. It's something that at first you made fun of, but then made fun of because people don't understand it, or it can become too much. But eventually, if you learn to tame it, work with it, love it, understand it, stuff like that, that's real, like powerful and stuff, then you have that energy available for your own reserves when you have things to do. And I see this with this a lot of times this rap energy, say it, the not even just frustration, but just like that go get it. Like that's that energy that I believe is like that Cherokee energy, having that thing inside of you, and it has so much unlimited chakra, but how we use it, ways to control it, it's all up to our own. You said with mushrooms, have you ever visualized anyone else's energy? Yep. Yeah, you will. I visualize it. See it for what it is. Floating around them ever since I had that acid trip where I was able to see all the energies like floating around people. I still have that one that now that I have it, I want to actually animate it. Let me write a note about that. Where it was, I was looking at the person's face, and he had a purple swirl, just going tracking all around his body. I'm all around like the upper part of his body, like a complete just ooh. Just that was like one of the first times I seen those kind of things. I seen energy, chi energy, and it was pretty cool because it was just a normal day. It was just a normal day. But it was just apparent. I was trying not to look at him too long because he wasn't on acid. It was somebody I just ran into because I was running around the city with somebody I was taking the acid with. Even though I said I didn't want to go there, but I was just flowing with it, just flowing with it. He was on the porch and I walked up to him, and he's like, and the other guy's like, yeah, he's really on right now, and I was like, yeah, but really I was just like energies, like looking at it. Then after those treks and stuff, it was on like, real. I used to practice. They used to say, one of my practices before mushrooms was looking at your hand and just getting into that daze, and then you'll start seeing a white. Start off as seeing white. This is my experience too, because this is what they said was gonna happen. Now I actually start seeing it where you can see the white around, start glowing around your hands and stuff. Like how y'all see this green a little bit. That green is a chroma key trying to take away the green that still exists a little bit right in my finger. That's how it would look a little white. And stuff. If you can only learn only style, would you learn to heal or to destroy? For me, I think it will come with yeah, I think it will come with the matter of the moment. It'll be the matter of the moment, like a samurai, like a samurai. I was thinking of the Usaki saga, and how they played that out. Oh, if you can only learn one style. Oh, okay, okay, learn one style. That make a difference. That make a difference. Now there's a choice in the matter. And but for me too, it's still like the destruction as a healing. Like I said, that samurai conjunction comes into my head. Not conjunction, but lifestyle of the moments and what it calls for, and having the capability to do things. So not all, and even beyond the samurai. The samurais were just instruments of war for the military, for the the emperor and stuff like that. But also, like going out, like I believe that because I've seen it a lot of times in my visions that I can make a plant grow faster by putting my hands over top of it. Like make a tree grow fast. Like just up. Or like bring something that was thought to be dead back to life. I believe those is all possible. It's all possible within myself. Just ain't there yet. Or it happened in another reality, or we'll just see what happens. But I have the imaginations that workings. Say you should look up shoddy powers. Hey, let's look it up. Topic. Do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Oh, going back to the Hinduism. And the cool thing about Hinduism too is that if you talk to a person that's really into Hindu, they believe everything. I was listening to a comedian on his podcast. He's like, hey, think about Hindu. Hey, however you get your rock up to the mountain is how you get your rock up over the mountain. I just want to see what they how they tie it together. Words and terminology that. Yep, yep. So, bodies. The whole history of science shows us that whenever educating scientific about the facts of other investigations, priority grant possibility hires have always said. Patah Ali writes that Sahadis are attained after mastery of the last three steps of the have the ability to simultaneously concentration body at will. Ooh, ooh, I like that. Oh, sustained in this context means a highly focused or meditative state as opposed to chattering. Definitely, if one so chooses. Yeah, that's how magic works. That's how magic works because it's you creating everything that's in your mind. And when you get that focus in, that intent in that, but still seeing how it's all a game, and that's where that meditative and attachment comes from, and trying to make work so hard, make that spell work, or make the ball power come out of your hand. Stuff that's trying to. It really is that, like I said, just tie, or, and as they put it, the having sustaining concentration body at will. That's how people create great works of even art that we see now. Martial arts, all of this is under this umbrella. It's something to look into. And they talk about the 21 powers. Oh, wait, you said something. What if you trained it like lift to move more at one faster? Yeah. And then you take the weights off, it's gonna be a piece of cake. It's gonna be a piece of cake. So I know what you mean, balancing and going with all those thoughts and seeing. Then once you finally do have that one train of thought going on, it's like wow, like you start really flowing and being feeling, getting into the master type vibes. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. All of these thoughts, all of this pressure, it's all the training. It's all the sorrowfulness we have, all the joyfulness we have, all of that stuff. All, especially the sorrowful things too that we go through. It's all training, all mental training. Like they will put in the Hindu and stuff, going through the eightfold paths. It could seem like we're not trying to attain stuff, or I'm not trying to attain stuff, but for me, I feel my spirit or my being trying to attain these things or already attain because everything that we search for, we already have. We already have. That's why it's already like so-called awakened with psychedelics and stuff. No, you just witnessing it high velocity in the moment. I remember when I was young, we used to me and my friend Jamar used to be in the backyard throwing kamehamehas at each other. Who hasn't done that? All right, let's look into these 21 Sahadi powers that they talk about. Past, present, future, walk into a bar at the same time. It was 10. Woo! All right, the basic three variations: exceptional mind body control, clairvoyance, the ability to knowledge by the without the use of the extraordinary, ordinary clues, precognition, psychokinesis. Or mind matter interaction, the mind to directly influence matter, or the realization of that mind is influencing matter. And then when you get in that, like, yo, what are the possibilities? Disappearing, never to be heard of again. People, objects. Having people walk in the door at the right time with a blunt, with the right time to say that really helped them out in that. Psychokinesis is going to take into a whole new level, and we're going to be able to lift things, objects, and stuff. And clairvoyance. I like to point out to people a lot that clairvoyance happens to people all the time, and a lot of us doubt it. Like, oh, I didn't just think that, or they say, speak of the devil, like when somebody call you on the phone when you was just thinking about him or talking about him and stuff like that. Speaking of the devil, devil this, devil that. But put another term on it, clairvoyance. Clairvoyance. You knew that person was going to call you. That person was going to walk into the room. It's not like you know. That's just the language, but just the pick up on the vibe, pick up on the sense. It happens on this show, on the Psy Tai podcast, an uncountable amount of time. Unnumerable, whatever that word is. I say uncountable. It happens so many times where I would bring up stuff and people will talk about it later, or I'll observe in the conversation and the thoughts pop up, and as an imagination, and it's what somebody was just start to tie on and stuff like that, or being able to locate objects in another room and see where it is, since the energy of it, and all these words make it seem like it's hard, but it's really just a flick of the switch in the mind and stuff. Flick of the switch, and seeing how to just choosing to accept it or not. Like, is this happening or not? And then, like, once you start really going at it and really believing it, or like working with, especially if you took DMT or psychedelics before, you start really seeing that you can close your eyes and still see. Like, wait, what are these eyes? What is my eyes for? What are they for in the first place? And the songs that I listen to really, and I think a lot of us listen to, really developed us for this already, for this possibility, if you choose to, so where you can close your eyes and start seeing the sense of around you. I know for a lot of rock songs I listen to, they would talk about, yeah, I don't need my eyes to see from out there, and they talking about this whole different world of feelings, emotions, and putting it in a sort of lyrical poetry of describing the landscape of where they're at and how they're seeing things, feeling like they're here and then over there, and feeling telepathic kind of thoughts and stuff like that. Like, this thoughts not coming from me. All these thoughts in my head. Like, are we always just thinking about what we thinking, or is it what the group is thinking? And then we all individually can pick from that group and it come off as clairvoyance, but it's really a whole different play field going out based off of your imagination or your training. When I say training, I really mean like just your experience, rather you thought you was training or not. Just like who you are. Just who you are right now. Who are you? That's the training I mean. Who you are. And then the clairvoyance and all of that. I bring it up a lot about the show Manifest, and they having the call-ins and stuff, and trusting this. Should I trust it? I was leading my life to make it seem like people thinking I'm crazy or stuff like that. But other people, it's not always like that. Not always like that. I think a lot of people that, because it was a person in Manifest that was like a street hustler, and that's what he was using his clairvoyance for. He was playing chess, and he would play like 5 people at chess at the same time and kill them all. I think a lot of people are using their clairvoyance and a lot of their powers in ways that feel home to them, that's giving them a profession already in their life. But to them, it comes off as like skill, or coming off as a natural gift. But what is that natural? What is natural? What are we working with? That's why I like just believing in ourselves and going with ourselves. Because you'll start, like, those questions, you won't really bring them to the table of other people, but you bring them to the table of yourself. Bring them to the table of yourself and start getting the answers that you was looking for if you really believe in it. Really believe in it. Really believe in yourself. Back to that. Back to that. And there's always gonna be some people out there that come off as wacky, tacky, well, in the streets that people could make fun of, or they say I got all this going on, even though I can't produce it, or oh, it's just going on for me, and you'll never see it. Like it happened when you wasn't here, and stuff like that. And they let it obsess over their life and everything, where they don't like, they don't have a place to live. Happens a lot of people. Yeah, that's part of the traumas, and that's why I like just have this stuff out in the air, so people that come across certain ideas and things about themselves, they can say, "Hey, man, I don't have to just go out in the streets and be homeless," or "Oh, this how the kind of thoughts homeless people give up on everything." And you can do that if you want. Also, you can have those thoughts and do this and stuff like that. Like the homeless people and people out on the streets, their minds is tied into a lot of gears. They just don't know how, just in the world, just in translated around them. Or the way they're translating is through all the ideas that people gave fed to them. I'm crazy, or I just deserve this lifestyle. This is the lifestyle I deserve. Deserve any stuff, because then you have to do this. I just hey King, that's the creator, just tired of natural fly guy. Yeah, our minds are all attached. Our minds is all in it. All having fun in the way that we choose to have fun with it. I was thinking about the Molly and everything, King, when you jumped in and your family, your friend, family member, just the excitement and everything. I was like, yeah, because different paths that we go on. I was listening to Seth MacFarlane, and he was talking about MDMA one time. He's like, yeah, here goes this drug everybody say don't do, but it's one of the things that make you more happier than give you one of the most happiest times that you will ever have in your life. Like, yeah, just don't take that. Just don't take that. So it's like different vibes. It's just different vibes, different chemicals, and I think with a lot of drugs, and a lot of I just call them chemicals. I call them chemicals. The chemicals that people have a connotation on, but all depending on your situation and your own determination and how your magicianship in your mind is when you're doing it, really is up to you how it's going to how it's going to affect the rest of your life. Because some people it affect them in a life and will change up their lifestyle in a way that somebody else is comfortable in, comfortable enough that they are striving in it. Flipped it around, you all use all that angst not just to run around in the streets, but to build a business or to relax and build and play with their friends in a different way, have different social interaction, different kind of lifestyles that people that don't take those kind of things or just fearful of those kind of things, period, is like, oh, that leads to this and that leads to that. And other people like, oh, this is where I wanted it to lead me. Or they just was already in it, was comfortable, none had many depressive situations, or if they did, they got over it sometimes. All of them. They worked their way up. Where they, where they probably the ones making jokes about all these things. Then when drugs and stuff, when people hear to say, oh man, oh, that is true. That is what's going on. To. They sit back laughing or probably like, oh man, I wish they think that of that. Like check out Washington criminalized all the chemicals. Then we ain't gonna lock you up. I don't know how fast that's gonna spread. It ain't my job to make it spread. So I'm just observing and just saying, hey, it's all up to us. Like I found out it was all up to me. That's how I found it was all up to me because I was on the opposite side too. And then I was getting smoking, not getting smoking, but just it wasn't my thing really. It wasn't my thing until it became my thing. Just me in the situation of it being passed and say, hey, yeah, trust my cousin. Relax, have like how she started smoking. The girl cousin too. But it was cool. It was cool how lifestyle change up. Now I got the stoner type lifestyle and mushroom type lifestyle that come with that. And the people other that never did it say, oh, I can tell he did something. Probably just never think it. Oh, well, how like that? And I can choose to dispose the information or not. And that's how it is for a lot of these companies and people that's living in the big times and stuff. They don't gotta dispose it. It isn't for everybody, but if you use it correctly, you can create great memories. Yeah, the great enough memories, King, that they create movies. We create movies, stories, books, whole realities, funds, vacation spots. Like, oh, you go to this place, they know how to set you up for a good time. Like, how they know how to set you up that good? They was really enjoying themselves in them moments. It's like we're gonna switch to capitalize. Have this opportunity available for other people without them having to take it. Without having to take that chemical. We can release chemicals in our bodies through different ways. And being the mastermind and getting into that, that's what I believe is part of the picture of creating things for other people. Saying, hey, I learned to work this spell enough where I can release this same chemical reaction through another set of um rituals. It's all rituals. Everything we do is a ritual. Even the sitting down watching TV, how we cook, how we walk, all of those things. You get pleasure sensors, um, neurochemical chemical reactions going around your brain from all of that. How we feeling? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, all these ideas. I was just had the vision of somebody go like sniffing a line. It's like, I'm going to create this, or we got to do this, and we got to move this, shuffle that over there, and then blah, 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 blah. Or they probably not like that. That's just how it is in the TV. They probably when they do the cocaine, just like I just have some fresh ideas. Trying to get into a fresh ass situation, and it's already set up for that to happen. Hey, leave for a minute. I'm still here. Still here, just talking about chemicals. People being in a lifestyle and taking it. And it fitting their personal lifestyle. And them probably not even talking about it, but it coming and stuff in ways that tempt other people in their mind states. And they be like, oh, well, that's something I would probably like to do. But now I set myself up like this. And it's just being different lifestyles out here being offered. And how you live and what you get into is based off of how you feeling. What drug you took. Well, Romeo. I never heard of that myself. Never heard of that myself. But all of this chemicals and everything, when it go to the so-called drugs, even to plants and heats and all of that. It's not like it all tries to come up as a cult. All tries to come as, oh, this is what you're supposed to do and this and that. But it's all just different lifestyles. It's all different lifestyles. And sticking true to the individual you, how we can is how I'm seeing we can remix it instead of getting caught up in a cult like behavior. Saying do this, then this is gonna happen. Like this is like guaranteed results. And it's because of how we felt in those certain situations, the chemical reactions, how much it beyond that too, the world that it brought about. What the person brought about in their lifestyle. And then assimilating yourself to that world. Like we make these decisions though to unlock more of ourselves, to unlock more of our DNA, to see what's going on. See what's going on. And it comes with and it's going to change. Change is always going to pop up. Always going to pop up. Just tying on lifestyles, and getting into our own lifestyle that allows us to be comfortable that allows us to be comfortable. Be comfortable with who we are in our situation. Because at one moment in our lives, we probably was paying attention to like what we say the script, what people was saying, taking it as face value, and then we start saying, "Hey, I'm starting to feel vibes beyond that. Starting to remember this. Start getting our own calculations going on." That's scary. People scared of AI jumping around doing stuff. We already personal AIs assimilating information, remixing it based off of our own agendas and having feelings and thoughts as algorithms at work, working on the the output result. All a part of the output result, different combinations, different brightnesses, contrast, tainow, blender. But yeah, guys, I'm about to tie on out of here pretty soon. I'm gonna get to work on some more, give myself some time to work on some animations before I like do a couple more, probably like an hour or two fashion. I try to make at least 100 a day before I call it quit. Time and everything out. Here goes a quick preview before I go of like what I was showing off earlier. From this like the 3D. I like showing off this because like yo, you can see when I first was seeing this and like seeing the fabric of the meshes, like the fabric of the reality in there, I was the correlation I see in my own eyes and how life is philosophized in myself. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. I had the crystals going in front of the glass. The I've learned this trick to put the crystals in there and mirror it so it can keep changing the reflection. I mean, how you actually, because you only see camera see. And oh, I got something. I got something. Stick with me. Stick with me. This was an art piece I was working on a while ago. I need to officially. And it's an animation to this too that I have to find at another time, where it keeps on flowing from like darker and the background and stuff change. But when I look in the mirror for like a couple seconds, if I focus, if I like do that deep gaze we was talking about earlier with the Sahadi, Sid, Sid high, it was I'll start seeing the white glow around me. My face will everything would start darkening. My eyes would turn white, and I was kind of mostly like this. This was a just no, this was a tree. Old man tree. I said, yo, he really turned around and manifested in that tree. I took that myself. Bidwell Park. Oh, that's where it is. It's in the whole nother hard drive. It's like in a whole nother render bit. All right, here we go. Wait, what is this? Oh, this was another character in the works I'm working on. Still early development, beta stages. So this is the segment where I show off some renders, and y'all can go on the Just Tie Now website as well. I'm seeing now that I had to pay a fee so it can come back online. I didn't wasn't aware of that. Probably cut off last night, but once it's back on, be able to see some renders some test renders before I like officially release them. I think I showed this one a couple times. Here we go. Oh, this is another test one. This was another variation I had where I was gonna have the mushrooms stretch and then go back in and stretch and go back in. But I was like, that's probably a little too phallic for true taste, so I changed it to them spinning around on their own axis. Here we go. Some couple still shots of the animation with the crystal going through. If I play it through like this. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go off on that note. There's the baby day. That boy that carries the baby cow every day till it's a grown cow. Thank you, you will, for all the conversations, for all the insights, for all the just being a buddy. Just also the King and Block, Cristobal and Velvet. We all in this having some fun. Thank you all for being a part of the Psy Tai podcast. Create some cool art with me one day. Hey, I always said, if y'all got any art, if y'all want to work together, hit me up, email, Discord. We'll come up with something on the spot. Come up with something on the spot. As always, Ty, always combine mind with your heart, see what your gut mind is saying, connect all those 3 circles. Don't be scared to let whatever come out. Peace.